And the federal government is taking strategic measures in addressing security challenges facing the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima restated this at the launch of a book and Diamond Jubilee celebration of Babajide Kolade Otitoju held at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrela reports.
And privilege to cherish forever to unveil a masterpiece written by our very good friend, BKO.
Official unveiling of the book, My Life and Journalist Hangout, by a seasoned journalist and TV anchor, Babajide Kolade Otitoju.
Thus, any misrepresentation or misrepresentation by Babajide Kolade Otitoju will be minimal, usually within acceptable limits of human foibles. BKO, as he is usually called, is a cosmopolitan Nigerian.
About investigative journalism, I want to join Sunday and Co in saying thank you for what you do.
Colleagues and media icons in Nigeria at the event gave accounts, saying the path the author took in building his career has shown editorial leadership, shaping narratives, safeguarding standards, and strengthening democratic governance.
That kind of rise does not happen by chance. It happens with excellence. And that excellence is one of the attributes and habits of Babajide Otitoju.
The public deserves only the truth told from all sides of the argument. This is what allows society to grow in unity and peace. I commend PQ and all our friends in the media who do this for the love of truth and fairness.
The insecurity is demarcating the government of the day. And I hope that we can get rapid solution, quick solution to this problem. It's my message to the President. The Vice President is here, he's listening to me.
And Vice President Kashim Shettima, after appreciating the author's contribution to Nigeria's development, says the nation under President Tinubu is committed towards creating an enabling environment for freedom of the press, giving assurance to addressing challenges facing the country.
So BKO, we are proud of you for standing for truth, for justice, for equity, and be rest assured that the issue of security you have highlighted is receiving the topmost attention from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm not playing politics, I'm telling the naked truth that we are very much concerned. We are very much worried because the essence of government is to provide security to the lives and property of the citizenry. The president is very much concerned, and the president is leaving no stone unturned to see that the issue of security of lives and properties of Nigerians are promptly addressed.
The occasion also witnessed the Golden Jubilee celebration of the anchor of Journalist Hangout with family and friends. In Abuja, Abdurrahman Jabrela, NTA News.
ECOWAS competition and consumer protection architecture is central to the tenets of the regional bloc and trade liberalization scheme. To make the framework more responsive to contemporary market needs, member states are meeting in Abuja to review and strengthen the instrument. Calvin Iponwai reports.
ECOWAS Competition Consultative Committee is an advisory body, but key to the regional consumer protection policy. It also supports the ECOWAS Common Market through free movement of goods and services, fair competition, and consumer welfare in member states. To make its enforcement seamless, heads of consumer protection agencies in member states are using this meeting to find ways to strengthen further cooperation, exchange experiences, and coordinate approaches to cross-border cases.
First agreement is, let's say, to put in place the legal institutional framework. When you assume duty, there was no actually implementing rules, regulation to enforce competition and consumer protection rules across the region. So you were able to develop all these instruments and also put in place one of the key mission of a competition regulator, which is the control of merger and acquisition.
This is the driver of competitiveness and the diversity of offers and sustainable development. This is essential to have lower prices, the quality of goods and services for the people.
Outcomes from this meeting are expected to guide implementation strategies in member states towards a coherent regional approach. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Now the European Union has directly called upon Israel to halt its ongoing military operations in Lebanon. This comes in the wake of an order by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to further expand and establish a security zone along the shared border.
Anol El-Anoni, a spokesperson for the European Commission in Brussels, reiterated the EU's consistent stance on the situation in southern Lebanon, saying Israel should stop its military operations in Lebanon.
We have already been quite clear in terms of our long-standing position on the situation in South Lebanon. We have called on, and we do call on Israel to respect Lebanon's sovereignty and territorial integrity, calling also all parties to implement the terms of the ceasefire agreement of the 27th of November 2024 and full implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 1701, together with refraining from any actions resulting in further displacements, because again, the situation on the ground, including from a humanitarian perspective, is serious.
Meanwhile, Netanyahu's announcement came after a high-level military assessment on international organizations, including the UN, Amnesty International and Human Rights Commission. He voiced grave concerns that expanding military zones could violate Resolution 1701 and lead to the displacement of millions. A joint U.S.-Israeli operation targeting Iranian interests began on February 28th amidst diplomatic efforts to curb Iran's nuclear and missile programs. This led to retaliatory strikes by Tehran against Israel and U.S. military sites. The conflict has resulted in the closure of the vital Strait of Hormuz, impacting global oil supply. Lebanon's Hezbollah has also been drawn into the fighting, with over 1,100 reported deaths and more than 20% of the population displaced. Adding to the regional turmoil, the conflict has involved strikes near Iran's Bushehr nuclear plant, prompting urgent warnings from the IAEA.
Now, in a significant diplomatic move, Spain has closed its airspace to U.S. aircraft involved in missions targeting Iran and denied access to its military bases. Spain's Defense Minister, Margarita Robles, confirmed today that neither the use of Spanish bases nor its airspace is authorized for actions related to the conflict in Iran. This decision by the Spanish government, led by Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, has forced U.S. bombers en route to the Middle East to reroute and alter their logistics. This stance has angered Spain's NATO ally, the United States. President Donald Trump has previously expressed his displeasure, even threatening trade relations over Spain's refusal to significantly increase its NATO defense spending. This latest move by Spain marks another point of friction between the two nations. The federal government has charged newly promoted career ambassadors to serve as advocates of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and project Nigeria's global image positively. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, gave the charge during the investiture ceremony for 18 senior diplomats elevated to the rank of ambassadors in situ in Abuja. Garba Mohammed Natala reports.
It was a prestige moment and of high expectations as 18 career diplomats received their letters of promotion to ambassadorial status. The rank of ambassador in situ is the highest professional grade in foreign service, reserved for officers who have demonstrated exceptional dedication and expertise as reflected in their years of service.
You are meant to be representing your country. You are meant to be representing your profession. You are meant to be representing this ministry. So it's something that we should not take lightly.
The minister urged the new ambassadors to leverage their wealth of experience to project Nigeria positively on the international stage. As a call to action, Tuga also reminded the envoys to be proactive in their duties, stressing that in an era of complex global challenges, Nigeria expects results. Yusuf Tuga did not relent in pointing out the challenges facing Nigerian missions abroad and the nature of Nigeria's foreign policy trust to ensure the new envoys are better prepared to shoulder the responsibility reposed in them. Some of the newly promoted diplomats speak.
It is a privilege for us to serve our country. We are going to go forward to make sure that the policies of the government will be well directed anywhere we find ourselves.
It's all by God's doing. Allah made this possible. He guided us throughout our career since we joined the Foreign Service early.
With their credentials now set to be conveyed to their respective duty posts, these ambassadors are expected to be frontline drivers of Nigeria's foreign policy objectives, aligned with the President's current economic and diplomatic priorities. In Abuja, Garb Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Foreign Affairs Minister stated at the investiture ceremony that this will be his final engagement with officials of the ministry as he pursues other interests. Yusuf Tugar clarified that Nigeria remains one of the few nations that extend ambassadorial appointments to non-career individuals rather than exclusively to career diplomats. As it is currently, the number of appointees is increasing.
And it is telling on the level of professionalism, on the level of foreign policy analysis that is carried out. And it is telling on our image, on the way we conduct diplomacy.
He further shared his perspective on how the approach has evolved. However, he advised that the trend needs to be reversed so Nigeria can stand tall among the Committee of Nations.
I should say this because this is probably one of my last engagements as Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I'm not just saying this because this may be my last day, but I think by now most of you know me well enough to know that I will speak my mind, I will say the truth, even sometimes when it's not in my interest. But it's important we do this and we establish that.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Senator Ibrahim Ida as chairman of the Corporate Affairs Commission and nominated 7 people to fill vacant commissioner positions at the National Population Commission. Ida holds an MSc in Banking and Finance from the University of Ibadan and LLB from the University of Abuja before his election to the Senate in 2017 to represent Katsina Central. He served as the Commissioner of Finance for Katsina State and as the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Civil Service. The 7 people nominated as Federal Commissioners to represent their respective states in the National Population Commission are Kolawole Oladipopu Alabi, Ekiti State, Nasiru Muazu, Zamfara State, Usman Abubakar Tugar, Bauchi State, Dr. Isaka Alada Yahaya, Kwara State, Professor Sadiq Isarada, Katsina State, Suleiman Umar Jigawa State, and Chiso Abdullahi Detijo, Sokoto State. The appointments, which complement other federal commissioners already sworn in, are subject to confirmation by the National Assembly. The President also appointed Dr. Yusuf Mohammed of Kano State as the chairman of the Federal Polytechnical Tungo. President Tinubu confirmed the appointment of Bala Mohammed Bello as a special advisor on political economy. Bello from Kebbi State holds a bachelor's degree in accounting and an MBA from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Before this appointment, he was a deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. President Tinubu believes in the capacities of the appointees to put in their best to further the administration's commitment to better lease of life for Nigerians. This is the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break now. More reports right after. Please stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, history teaches us that when women are enabled to contribute to societies, those societies do not diminish. Instead, they flourish across every sector of Nigerian life: public service, media, corporate leadership, civil society, and indeed within our own profession of public relations. The sentiment resonated at the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations International Women's Day event themed Communicate to Balance, Gain Equity, Empower Women. Aman Jabani reports.
The maiden edition of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations International Women's Day serves as a reminder of the importance of creating more space for women's voices in leadership and participation in all aspects of national life, including security and governance. Speakers emphasized that International Women's Day offers a valuable opportunity to reflect on the critical role of women in shaping inclusive societies and reinforcing the foundation of peace and security.
Highlighting success stories of women leadership, not as inspirational exceptions, but as evidence of untapped potential. There's an untapped potential in women.
We'll build together with them, we'll understand what their mission is, and then we'll see how we'll support them. So for now, we are committed to it.
We continue to acknowledge the indispensable role women play in the society as community influencers, peace builders, early warning actors, and agents of positive change.
As communication professionals, it's very clear we must continue to help build a narrative ecosystem where women's contributions are visible.
In contemporary Nigeria, leaders continue to redefine the possibilities of women in governance, diplomacy, academia, entrepreneurship, and creative industry, among others.
I would like to use this medium to also applaud and thank His Excellency Mr. President for declaring 2026 as a year of family and social development that will trigger the right kind of activities we need, the right kind of attention towards this particular space that will help to address women's issues economically, politically, and socially.
Because of this year's theme is Communicate to Balance, Gain Equity, Empower Women, it's not just a statement, it is a call to action.
You discover that most women have been given opportunities are doing wonderfully well. They are breaking barriers. They are moving from where they met those agencies. They are moving forward.
The consensus is a call to action, placing women at the center of all reflections as women continue to demonstrate brilliance, resilience, and transformative leadership. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Now talking judiciary matters. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has barred members of the Kabiru Turaki-led leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, from accessing the party's national secretariat in Abuja. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, in a verdict, held that they were a product of an unlawful convention held in violations of existing orders and judgment of the court. Justice Abdulmalik equally ordered security agencies, including the Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Services, to give adequate protection to Abdurrahman's leadership of the PDP to access and utilize the party's national secretariat. The court held that the purported national convention held at the Turaki-led faction on November 15 and 16, 2025 in Ibadan, and the election of party's officials against the valid court orders was a nullity. The court also maintained that the convention violated Section 287, subsection 3 of the Nigerian Constitution, as well as the PDP's Constitution. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik faulted the purported expulsion of Wike and his allies from the party during the 2025 convention, describing the act as an affront to the court order. The 2026 PDP National Convention held in Abuja has elected a 21-member National Working Committee with Abdurrahman Mohammed as chairman and Senator Samuel Anyanwu as secretary through consensus. Timothy Yusuf reports that party leaders described the convention, which was monitored by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, as a defining moment.
This elective national convention of the PDP is the 10th in series since the formation of the party in 1998.
I bear true allegiance to the People's Democratic Party.
2,500 delegates from across all the states and the FCT affirmed the acting national chairman Abdurrahman Mohammed and other members of the National Working Committee.
We must now move forward, not as tendencies, not as factions, but as one united political party.
This moment is not merely procedural. It represents renewal. It represents rebirth.
PDP national leader and FCT minister Nyesom Wike and other party stalwarts noted that the convention is a crucial moment for the party, aiming to bring unity and renewal after months of internal crisis and judicial tussle.
We fought and returned the party to its rightful owners, the people, an accomplishment which speaks to the fundamental principle upon which the party was founded. We must recommit ourselves to building a party where every individual feels representative, where every member feels valued, where every voice matters.
Invite those who are outside, nothing for forgiveness. We are willing to forgive for Nigeria, we are willing for each other, for the PDP, and therefore let us embrace unity. It's not about anybody else, it's about PDP.
We now have a party that people can no longer blackmail our aspirants, make fun of them that, oh, you will not be on the ballot paper. Now we know PDP will be on the ballot paper in 2027.
Leadership of the National Assembly caucus called for reconciliation and focus on rebuilding the party. The PDP National Convention had as its theme inclusiveness, unity and renewal. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And Nigeria is undergoing a series of economic reforms aimed at stabilizing public finance, improving revenue generation and ensure sustainable development. These far-reaching reforms, however, come with challenges that need urgent redress, which brought about a two-day engagement by commissioners of the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation and Fiscal Commission organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission plays a strategic role in Nigeria's fiscal architecture. It is against this backdrop that the role of its commissioners becomes more critical as custodians of fiscal equity and key sectors in fostering harmony, strengthening public trust, as well as their ability to navigate dynamic policy environment.
Understanding the evolving fiscal environment, innovation in public sector management, performance and accountability frameworks, and effective stakeholder engagement. The emphasis is on practical learning, equipping you with tools for data-driven decision-making, improved revenue tracking, conflict resolution, and result-oriented management.
This training, therefore, serves as both an orientation and a refresher aimed at aligning everyone with the core values, rules, and expectations guiding our work.
At the end of the engagement, participants will be better equipped to translate vision into action, strengthening collaboration with legislature, executive, and the state government to drive institutional reforms. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And Vice President Kashim Shettima has commiserated with former Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, over the death of his mother, late Hajia Fatima Umar. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jubrila reports that the Vice President visited the family at the Abuja residence of El-Rufai. The Vice President prayed for the repose of the soul of the late matriarch of the El-Rufai family.
What binds us together supersedes whatever the divides. We are essentially one family tied to a common destiny. Politics come and go. Political offices come and go. But the nation stays. Our fraternity, our brotherhood remains evergreen. Politics should be practiced without bitterness. Here in this midst are people of various political colorations. I'm very mightily proud of everyone who can subsume political differences and come and identify with our brother in his hour.
Late Hajia Fatima Umar El-Rufai died on Friday, 27th March 2026 in Cairo, Egypt, at the age of 96. Up next is the weather report.